It looks like Travis Scott is still haunted by the Astroworld tragedy that took place in November last year. The American rapper was recently on tour, and while on stage, he stopped midway through his performance to ensure fans' safety. In this video, we go back and recap the tragedy that took place in Texas and see how Travis Scott has changed since. On November 5th, a major disaster took place at Travis Scott's Astroworld Music Festival in Texas, at the time due to improper and faulty arrangements. A stampede took place just 15 minutes after Scott got on stage. A concert goer recounted the horrifying experience, saying people were falling left and right. Many got trampled after they lost their balance and then tripped over other people on the floor. Travis Scott, meanwhile, failed to address the crowd and kept going with the performance. Meanwhile, people in the crowd kept getting injured and many lost their lives. Following the tragedy, many people were angry and called to boycott Travis. Scott tried to help out victims following the event, but the damage was already done. The rapper currently faces countless lawsuits from Astroworld victims who are ducking it out in Houston court with attorneys for Travis Scott in a battle revolving around whether the star himself should be subject to a gag order that's been imposed on lawyers working on the massive case. Lawyers for the family of a young boy killed at the festival say Scott is using the media, specifically the launch of a charitable initiative called Project Heal, which was announced on Tuesday, March 8, to try to win favor with potential jurors. Scott's lawyers say his philanthropy is genuine and that adding him to the gag order would violate his right to free speech. In the latest filing on March 11th, attorneys for the 9-year-old victim Ezra Blount said Scott must be prevented from carrying out a highly sophisticated marketing campaign and a tone-deaf attempt to shift the narrative. They only asked the defendant, Scott, and his full team to consider participating in good faith in the legal process, stop the continued attempts at media marketing and reputation repair, and just let the truth be discovered through the course of the judicial process, they wrote. The filings came amid a massive ongoing lawsuit over the Astroworld Festival, which reportedly left 10 dead and over 500 people injured. More than 2,800 concert goers are now suing Scott, Live Nation, and other festival organizers, claiming that they're legally negligent in how they planned and conducted the event. The plaintiffs are seeking billions in potential damages when the cases were combined before a single judge this February. Judge Kristen Bockel-Hawkins, one of her first moves was to issue a so-called publicity order, barring attorneys involving in the lawsuit from talking about the case in ways that could potentially sway jurors. Meanwhile, the Blount family's attorneys filed an emergency motion demanding that Scott be added to that publicity order. In the motion, they cited widespread media coverage the day before of Project Heal, a $5 million charitable initiative launched by Scott to, among other things, address the safety challenges faced by future large-scale events. Blount's family, repped by attorney Benjamin Crump, said the promotion around Project Heal was designed to gain goodwill and to hurt the victim's ability to obtain a fair trial in this case. They said the gag order must apply to everyone involved in the case to ensure a level playing field. Tony Busby, another prominent local attorney who represents scores of victims in the case, later filed a motion joining Crump's petition and throwing his weight behind the motion to impose the gag order on Scott. Scott's attorneys, on the other hand, fired back, arguing that his philanthropic efforts had begun long before Astroworld and that banning him from talking about them would violate his free speech rights under the First Amendment. Though defendant Scott's motion both lauds his own self-serving check writing as well as personally attacks those lawyers hired to protect the victims who were left unprotected and dying at his concert, the family of the dead and injured will not be bullied into silence. Crump wrote, "There is no timetable for when Judge Hawkins will rule on the motions. Now, with all the lawsuits Scott has to face, it isn't a surprise he is maintaining caution during his performances at concerts. During his latest concert on Coney Island at the Coney Art Walls, a video was shared showing Scott performing alongside Mick Mills. Partway through, he stops the music to tell fans, "We need you all to get down." Later, the pair ensure that the other people of the crowd are alright and tell members of security not to push on the barricades at the venue. It comes as a U.S. festival schedule scheduled to feature Scott's first headline slot since the Astroworld tragedy. It's great to see him take necessary precautions. As for the lawsuits, we guarantee Travis Scott has to face tough times ahead. That's all for the video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching.